Hey everyone, it's Nikki. Welcome to the Living Water Studio. I'm here today and I am recording one of my classes that I teach regularly here. It is called Breathe and Flow. It is a 60-minute class. We're not going to have any particular focus today. It's just going to be a well-rounded, full body movement class with emphasis on connection between the movement of the body and breath. We will start off with a breathing exercise and then we'll start to move our bodies. We'll finish with a cool down where we might be holding some stretches for a bit longer, and then we'll spend about 5 minutes in Shavasana together. It is not required that you have a yoga mat, but if you do have a mat, please grab it now. No props are necessary, so we won't need any blocks or straps, anything like that. If you don't have a yoga mat, find a comfortable space, maybe on some carpet, somewhere where you have cushion for when we do lie on our backs. See if you can find yourself a comfortable space, maybe where you don't have distractions, but if you do have kids or dogs running around, don't worry about it. Distractions can sometimes actually be really good for our mental tenacity. So today we will start in a seated position, and any way that's really comfortable for your legs, I invite you to enter into. So whether that is just with your legs stacked one in front of the other, you can come into a half lotus, sitting up nice and tall. Maybe you want to come into full lotus, or even just the most traditional crisscross applesauce, whatever feels good for your legs. I like to stack my shins one in front of the other. So wherever you're at, just let go with a nice cleansing release breath. Release all of the air out. Take the hands to the tops of the knees. Sit up nice and tall. Find that length through the spine. If your eyes are not closed, gently close them. And we'll begin with a breathing exercise where we count our breaths. If your hands are comfortable on your knees, you can leave them there. Otherwise, I invite you to take your right hand to your heart, your left hand to your lower belly, and we'll begin to breathe. So we're going to inhale for a count of 3, and then we'll exhale for a count of 3, and I'll guide you along the way. On your next inhale, slowly inhale through your nose for 1, 2, 3. Exhale through your mouth for 3, 2, 1. Inhale through the nose. 1, 2, 3. Exhale through your mouth. 3, 2, 1. Keeping that same count. Inhale through the nose. As you inhale, let your belly expand. Draw the air all the way up to your chest. Exhale through the mouth the same way. Good. Inhale through the nose. 1, 2, 3. Exhale through your mouth. 3, 2, 1. Inhale through the nose. 1, 2, 3. Exhale through the mouth. 3, 2, 1. Keep the count in your head. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. One more. Inhale. This time, pause at the top. Exhale through the mouth. Release your hands back to the tops of your knees. Continuing with your eyes closed. I want you to seal your lips. Keeping that same pace of breathing, I just want you to begin to breathe in and out through the nose. every breath, just allowing yourself to notice what might be happening in your body. With every exhale, see if you can let your shoulders fall further away from your ears. With every exhale, let your sitting bones sink deeper into the ground. With every exhale, letting go of everything that is out of your control. I need you to stay here for 3 more full deep breaths on your own count. Once you've completed your breath, we'll begin to start moving. You choose whether you keep your eyes closed or if you'd like to open them. We'll start off with some neck rolls. Begin to draw circles with your nose. Continuing to keep the length through the spine. You choose how big you make these. Holding on to those slow, deep inhales and exhales. And the next time your chin meets your chest, I want you to pause. And then on an inhale, reverse, take it the opposite direction. Next time the chin meets the chest, pause. And then gently return your gaze to neutral, lifting the head. And if your eyes are closed, you can gently open them. On your next inhale, send your arms overhead, length through the spine. And then as you exhale, taking a spinal twist, dropping that left hand to the right knee. Right fingertips meet the ground behind you. Gaze goes out over that right shoulder. Option to take right hand to left hip crease. Next inhale, send the arms overhead, reach tall. And exhale, opposite direction. Left hand comes to the right knee. Gaze goes out over the left shoulder behind you. Checking in that the shoulders are relaxed down away from the ears. And if you'd like that bind, reaching that left hand for the right hip crease. Next inhale, arms sweep overhead. And as you exhale, I want you to take the hands behind the lower back, interlace your fingers, and then straighten out the arms. Draw the shoulders back, opening up through your chest. Option to add a throat opener, taking the gaze up to the ceiling, only if this feels comfortable on your neck. If your gaze is to the sky, return to neutral. Keeping the hands interlaced, we're going to draw both hands over to the right hip. And then slowly begin to drop the right ear to the right shoulder, opening up through the left side of the neck. On an inhale, move the hands through center. And as you exhale, both hands go over to the left hip and then start to drop the left ear to the left shoulder. On an inhale, move the hands through center, straighten them out. Take one more stretch here. Really draw the shoulders back a bit further this time. Open up your heart. And on an exhale, gently release the bind. We're gonna roll forward to a tabletop, coming onto all fours. I want you to make sure that everything is stacked. So we want the shoulders right over top of the wrist, hips over the heels, and the toes are not tucked, they are untucked. So you should have the tops of your feet to the mat. We'll start to move through cat and cow using our breath. So on an inhale, you'll drop your belly, lift your gaze, taking it to cow. And then as you exhale, round through the spine, drop the chin to the chest for cat. Inhale, return to cow, drop the belly, lengthen your tailbone. And exhale, cat. Think of a Halloween cat here, rounding through the spine. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Really beginning to take these movements in your own time with your own breath. Allowing yourself to flow from one to the next. No beginning, no end. And we'll all meet back in a neutral spine. We're going to tuck all 10 toes and then start to press your hips towards your heels. And then as if you were going to come into a child's pose, start to walk your hands to the top of your mat. Maybe even releasing the forehead to the ground if that's available. Otherwise, you can just let the head hover. Next inhale, return to your tabletop, keeping the toes tucked. Fingers are spread nice and wide, shoulders right over the wrist. I want you to start to lengthen through your tailbone, straightening out the legs, send the hips up to the sky, coming into our first downward dog of the class. We're looking for that upside down V shape, so depending on how tall you are, how short you are, you may need to adjust your feet stance by walking your feet in or out. We want to allow the ears to come next to the biceps. You've got a soft micro bend in the knee, and then you're wanting the heels to sink down towards the ground. So rather than having the heels up as if you were wearing high heels, we want to let the heels draw closer to the earth, finding some length through the back of the legs. And let's begin to soften through the knees, bending and straightening one leg at a time, also known as walking your dog. Opening up through the calves, through the hamstrings, stretching through your ankles, your Achilles, the whole backside of the legs. Beautiful. You can go ahead and straighten out both legs here in a nice sturdy down dog, keeping that soft micro bend in the knees, navel to the spine, gazes out through the legs. You can either step or walk your feet to the top of the mat, coming into our first forward fold of the class. Heels and toes come to touch. The weight shifts to the balls of your feet so that the hips are ideally stacked over top of the heels. And then allowing yourself to fold forward. If your body is still pretty tight as we're still warming up, go ahead and take a little bend to the knees. Allowing your head, your neck to hang heavy. We're going to hold here for a few breaths. So if it's not comfortable, I urge you to move around till you find a spot that is. On your next inhale, we're going to lift to a flat back. You can either have your fingertips to the mat, your shins, or your thighs, creating that length through the spine. And then as you exhale, we'll fold forward, reaching the hands for the earth. Next inhale, reverse swan dive, arms rise overhead, gaze to the sky. And then as you exhale, release your hands to prayer at heart center. Beautiful. Inhale, arms sweep up overhead. And as you exhale, you're going to drop that right hand. Left arm goes up and over, taking a big side lean. Continuing to squeeze the glutes, squeeze the thighs. Inhale, arms reach tall. Exhale, drop the left hand, take a side lean. Opening up through the right side of the body. Inhale, arms rise overhead. Exhale as you cactus the arms, take the gaze up to the sky, open your heart. Inhale for length, reach tall. Exhale, swan dive forward, hands meet the earth. Inhale for length to a flat back. Hands to the floor, shins or thighs. Exhale, fold forward. On your next inhale, send the right foot to the back of the mat, coming into lunge on fingertips. And as you exhale, see if you can sink those hips down just a bit, finding a soft stretch through the right hip flexor, the front side of the right leg. Beautiful. Go ahead and drop that right knee, untuck the right toes, and on an inhale, sweep the arms overhead, low lunge. As you exhale, I want you to cactus your arms. Taking a big inhale, sweep the arms up overhead. Exhale, cactus. Inhale, making a big sweeping motion, arms rise. Exhale, cactus. Inhale. Exhale. One more. Exhale. Inhale, arms rise. And as you exhale, release the hands to the mat. Tuck the right toes, lift the knee. Take a big step to the back of the mat with the left foot coming into high plank. Navel to spine, shoulders stacked right over the wrist. Squeeze your glutes. Everything is engaged and active. Take an inhale to prepare. And as you exhale, shift the weight forward, bend the elbows, lowering down chaturanga. Inhale to rise, up dog or cobra. Exhale, hips high, downward facing dog. One full breath here. Soft bend in both knees, gaze to the top of the mat, step, walk, or hop your feet to the top. Standing forward fold. Next inhale, lift to a flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, reverse swan dive, arms rise. Exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, sweep the arms overhead. Exhale, drop the right hand, take a side lean. Maybe a little further this time. Inhale, arms rise. Exhale, drop the left arm. Inhale. Exhale, cactus the arms. Drop the elbows, squeeze the shoulder blades together, keeping the core active. Inhale, reach tall. Exhale, dive forward. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. Inhale, step the left foot to the back of the mat. Lunge on fingertips. Exhale as you let those hips sink, opening up through the left hip flexor. Right here. Slowly drop that left knee, untuck the left toes. If you need a bit of cushion, you can always double up that mat if it feels uncomfortable for your knee. Next inhale, arms rise overhead. And on your exhale, cactus the arms. Make that big sweeping circle. Inhale to rise. Exhale, cactus. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. We've got one more. Inhale to rise the arms overhead. And exhale, release the hands to the mat. Tuck the left toes, lift the knee. Big step to the back of the mat with the right foot, high plank. Breath in. Exhale, shifting forward, elbows to the ribs, lower down, chaturanga. Inhale, rise, up dog. Thighs and knees lifted off the mat. Exhale, hips high, downward facing dog. Pause here, one full breath. On your next inhale, you're gonna float your right leg up to the sky for three-legged dog. That right foot is flexed, so the toes are pointing down to the ground. Take a breath in. And as you exhale, I want you to bend the right knee, open up the hips to the right, and then think about drawing that right shoulder down so both your shoulders come into alignment. Allow that left heel to sink to the ground, opening up through your hips. Beautiful. Inhale, straighten out the right leg, three-legged dog, square the hips. As you exhale, I want you to round through your spine, tiger curl, draw the knee to the nose. Send that right leg high, three-legged dog. Inhale. Exhale, knee to nose, round through the spine. Stack the shoulders, beautiful. Inhale, three-legged dog, last one. And exhale, tiger curl as you step that right hand to the center of your hands, coming into your lunge on fingertips. Plant firmly that left hand to the ground, and on your inhale, reach that right arm up overhead, easy twist. Breathe into it. On an exhale, release that right hand to the ground. Next inhale, you're gonna sweep your arms overhead, coming into high lunge. As you exhale, creating your own resistance, we're gonna press the arms back, coming into arrowhead. That left heel is lifted, you're active, squeezing your thighs together. Inhale, arms rise. Exhale, arrowhead. Checking that that right knee is stacked over top of the right ankle. Inhale, arms rise. Exhale, arrowhead. Inhale, reach tall. And exhale, hands meet the earth. Big step to the back of the mat with the right foot, high plank. Pause here, one full breath. Modify at any time by dropping to the knees. Inhale to prepare. Exhale, lowering down, chaturanga. Inhale, rise, up dog. Exhale, hips high, downward facing dog. On your next inhale, float that left leg up to the sky, this time three-legged dog. Complete your exhale as you let that right heel sink. Take a breath in. And as you exhale, start to bend the left knee, stacking the hips. Draw that left shoulder down, keeping it in line with the right. Next inhale, straighten out the left leg, three-legged dog. And as you exhale, tiger curls, rounding through the spine, draw the knee to the nose. Beautiful, send that left leg up high, three-legged dog, inhale. Exhale, tiger curl. Inhale. Last one, good, exhale. Inhale. And this time, moving through tiger curl, you're gonna step that left foot in between the hands, lunge on fingertips, pause here. Next inhale, arms sweep overhead. And just kidding, we're gonna exhale, setting the hands to the ground. Planting that right hand firmly, we'll inhale as we reach the left arm overhead, easy twist. The more muscles you activate, the more stable you will be. So try and activate every muscle you own. Connecting with the breath, allowing yourself to be present in your body. Take a breath in, and on a breath out, release that left hand to the ground. Now we'll inhale, sweep the arms overhead, high lunge. And as you exhale, press those arms back. Super strong, creating your own resistance. Inhale, reach tall. Squeeze, squeeze threes. Exhale, press the arms back. Good. Inhale, rise. Exhale, send it back. Inhale. And exhale, release the hands to the ground. Send that left foot to the back of the mat, high plank. Good. Take an inhale and exhale, either staying up or if you need to modify, dropping to the knees. Inhale as you rise to cobra or up dog. And exhale, press the hips high, downward facing dog. Little active recovery here. Go ahead and drop your knees to the edge of the mat. Toes come to touch. Send your hips to your heels. Wide-legged child's pose. I want you to actively be walking your fingertips to the top of the mat. And if it's available to you, release your forehead to the ground. Taking a few moments to just breathe, bringing your awareness back to your breath. You're going to take your hands over to the right side of your mat. So stepping the hands off the mat. Rather than thinking about seeing how far you can take it over to the right, I want you to instead think about reaching those left fingertips further than the right. If it's available, rest your head on the ground. Otherwise, don't worry about it. Just let your head come to a hover. Staying grounded, sitting heavy with that left hip. Breathing. On an inhale, walk your hands through midline. And exhale, take it out to the left. Feeling the stretch through the right side of the body. Feeling the stretch through the hips. Next, inhale, walk your hands to center. And as you exhale, take one more stretch here at midline. And on an inhale, slowly rise. Bring your knees back so they're hip distance apart. Tuck your toes, send the hips high, downward facing dog. On your next inhale, lift that right leg up to the sky, three-legged dog. As you exhale, step the right foot to the center of your hands. Beautiful. You're gonna drop that left heel, and inhale, you're gonna windmill your arms all the way up to warrior two. We ideally want both our heels in one line, so take a look down at your feet. You may need to heel toe that front foot. Weight is evenly distributed through both of the legs. We start to lower down into that front leg, ideally getting the thigh parallel with the top of the mat. And then we shoot our arms out, strong, sturdy warrior. Never allowing that knee to cave in. We always want to be pressing the knee out, activating through the inner thighs, squeezing the legs together. Hips are tucked under, core is engaged, navel to spine. Beautiful. Release that front palm up to the sky. Inhale as you reach forward, and then exhale, send that right arm up overhead. You can either let that left hand slide down the left leg, or option to take a bind, sending that left hand to the right hip crease. Stay low in the right leg. Breathe. Next, inhale, return the arms to warrior two. Gaze out over the right arm. Straighten out through the right leg. And then we're going to turn our right toes to the left side of the room, so you're facing to the left side of your mat. And you're slowly just going to tip from your hip, reaching your hands to the ground, coming into a wide-legged forward fold. Here, I want you to pigeon your toes, so the toes are further than in the heels. Weight shifts to the ball of the feet, so almost as if you're trying to roll forward. And then hands wherever they're comfortable. So maybe you just want to let them hang below you. Maybe you want to take the hands behind the ankles. I like to take my hands underneath the arch of my foot, and I use that to pull myself deeper into my stretch. You can also play around with how close your feet are together or how far apart they are. We're looking for the stretch in the hamstrings, so the back sides of the legs, as straight as you can get your legs, but also keeping a soft micro bend. Beautiful. We're going to release the hands, the palms flat to the mat. So you will rise to a flat back, shoulders right underneath, wrists right underneath the shoulders. You're going to take your left hand to the center of your legs, and then you'll inhale, reach that right arm up overhead. Complete your exhale. Next, inhale. And then as you exhale, release that right arm to the ground. We're going to take opposite hand to opposite elbow here. And then begin to draw your figure eight, finding a nice little sway. If you're like me and your arms touch the ground, you may need to bring your feet closer together. Allow the head, the neck, the upper body to hang heavy. Slowly release. You're going to shift your toes to the front of your mat, making your way into pyramid. So you'll have your right leg straight, both legs are straight. Soft micro bend to protect the knees, and either allowing yourself to fold forward, or you can always keep a nice long spine with the fingertips to the mat. To make this less intense, have a bigger bend to the knee, or even bring your feet closer together. Beautiful. Lengthen through the spine, hands to the floor. Lift up your left heel, bend into the right knee, and take a step back to the back of the mat with the right foot, coming into high plank. Inhale. Exhale, lowering down, chaturanga. Inhale, rise, up dog. Exhale, hip side down dog. Next, inhale, left foot rises, three-legged dog, leading with the heel. And as you exhale, step that left foot in between the hands, lunge on fingertips. You're gonna drop your right heel this time. Inhale as you windmill the arms all the way up to warrior two. Staying low in the left leg this time. Gaze goes out over the left arm. Inhale, release that front palm up to the sky as you reach forward. Exhale, reverse warrior, send that left arm up overhead. Option to take the bind, right hand to left hip crease. Stay low in the left leg. Beautiful. This time, inhaling as we return to warrior two. Exhale as you straighten out the left leg, turn the left toes the same direction as the right, and start to hinge forward, coming into our straddle on the other leg. Any positioning that's comfortable for your hands, again, I invite you to do so. This time, I'm going to choose to take my hands interlaced at the base of my spine, and allowing them to fall forward. You choose what variation for your wide-legged fold you'd like today. Toes are still pigeoned in. Shift the weight to the balls of the feet. And on an exhale, release wherever it is you took your hands. And inhale as you lift up to a flat back. Hands right beneath the shoulders. This time, taking the right hand to the center of your legs. Inhale, left arm reaches overhead, twisting through the spine. On an exhale, release the left hand. Allowing yourself to fold further forward once again this time. And take opposite hand to opposite elbow. And find your figure eight. Nice and slow, there's no rush here. Beautiful. Slowly release. Hands meet the earth. Turn all 10 toes to the front of your mat, making your way into pyramid. Back foot is angled. Front foot facing forward. Both legs straight. Soft micro bend, especially in the front knee. Either folding forward, or if it's more comfortable, staying on the fingertips with a long flat back. Beautiful. Go ahead and let the back heel lift. Bend into the left knee, hands flat to the mat. Send the left foot to the back of the mat, high plank. You choose how you return to your downward dog, whether you just press the hips high from plank to down dog, or if you'd like to take a vinyasa, please do so now. And we'll all return and meet in downward dog. On your next inhale, float the right leg up to the sky, three-legged dog. And on your exhale, you're gonna step that right foot to the right pinky, so you're stepping the foot to the outer edge of your mat, finding yourself in lizard. So you've got lots of different options for your lizard. You can stay lifted up on your palms. If it's available to you, you can always lower down to your forearms, finding a deeper stretch into the hips. You can also lower that left knee, untucking the left toes, making this not quite as intense. Still staying lifted onto the palms, or maybe you want to even lower down to the forearms here. So lots of different things to play around with. I invite you to definitely play around with it. Find what works best for you today. Wherever you're at, be mindful that you're not just letting your head hang. You want to keep a nice, strong, sturdy neck, so that means keeping the neck in line with the spine. Opening up through the hips, especially that left hip flexor. If you're on your forearms, go ahead and return to your palms. And if your leg is lifted, slowly drop that left knee to the ground, untuck the left toes. I want everybody to take their right hand and reach for the back of your mat. So stay here, or if it is in your practice, go ahead and you can take the bind, reaching that right hand for the outer edge of the left foot, and being mindful that you're not hyperextending that left elbow, keeping a soft micro bend. And slowly release the bind. Both palms to the mat. Tuck the left toes, lift the knee, and we're going to sweep the right leg through, coming into pigeon. Allowing the hips to sink down. I like to move from right to left, trying to get my hips as square as possible. If you're in full pigeon and you can get your shin parallel with the top of your mat, I'd like you to keep that right foot flexed. If this isn't available to you, to make it a bit easier, take the intensity out of it, I want you to pull that right leg closer into you, at which point you would no longer have a flexed foot, your toes would be pointed. So whatever variation of your pigeon you are at today is exactly where you need to be. I'd like you first to keep a long spine, feeling that stretch through the left hip flexor. And then if you'd like, on an exhale, you can begin to walk yourself forward, maybe lowering down onto the forearms, or if you're able, taking it all the way down. I sometimes like to stack my hands to rest my forehead. And go ahead and walk your hands back in. We're gonna make our way back to three-legged dog. So get your palms flat to the mat, tuck the left toes, and then using your strength, kick that right leg up overhead, three-legged dog. And then as you exhale, release the right foot to meet the left, downward facing dog. Go ahead and pedal out your feet here, walking your dog. And just seeing if you can notice any difference from the right leg to the left. Noticing what it feels like. A little more loose maybe on that left side. Beautiful. Straighten out both your legs. Soft micro bend to the knees. Next inhale, left leg rises overhead, three-legged dog. Exhale, step that left foot to the left pinky, allowing the hips to sink, finding yourself in lizard. Again, option to stay up on the palms, maybe lowering down to the forearms, or even dropping that right knee and untucking the right toes. Whatever feels good for your body today. Breathing into any discomfort you might be feeling. If you're on your forearms, go ahead and rise back up to the palms. Drop the right knee, untuck the right toes. And then reach that left hand for the back of the mat. Staying here if this is as far as you can take it. If the bind is available to you, you can reach that left hand for the outer edge of the right foot. And slowly release. Tuck the right toes, lift the knee, and then sweep that left leg through this time, coming into pigeon on the other side, allowing those hips to sink down, squaring them out as much as you can. Remembering to modify as you need by pulling that left leg in closer to the right leg. Sitting up nice and tall at first, once you've found your positioning. And then when you're ready, start to walk those hands out, however feels comfortable for you. Bringing your awareness back to your breath. If you've lost it, simply without judgment, just return with an inhale. On an inhale, slowly start to walk your hands back in. Both palms to the mat, tuck the right toes. On an inhale, send that left leg up overhead, three-legged dog. Exhale, set the left foot down to meet the right, downward facing dog. Go ahead and pedal out your feet. We're going to drop to child's pose for just a minute, so go ahead and release the knees to the mat. Knees and heels come to touch. Send the hips to the heels, reach those fingertips forward, release the forehead to the mat. Next inhale, slowly rise to your tabletop. Complete your exhale. Make sure those knees are hip distance apart, hands are shoulder distance apart, everything is stacked. We're gonna thread the needle, which is gonna stretch out our upper back, our trapped muscles. So on an inhale, you're gonna reach that left arm up overhead, taking the gaze to the sky. And then as you exhale, thread that left arm through to the right. Release the left ear to the ground, coming onto the back side of the left shoulder. And I want you to keep your hips stacked above the knees the entire time. Option for your right hand, you can either have it extended long. If you'd like, you can always take a bind, taking that right hand to left crease. I like my palm flat to the mat, using it to press myself deeper into the stretch. Next inhale, we'll release the same way. Send the left arm up overhead. And exhale, release the left hand to the mat. Straight to the other side. Inhale, right arm reaches overhead. Exhale, thread it through to the left. Releasing the right ear to the ground. Hips above the knees. Next inhale, release, send the right arm up overhead. And exhale, release the right hand to the mat. We're gonna make our way to a seated position. Go ahead and cross the ankles. Shifting your weight back, extend the legs out long in front of you. Making our way into a seated forward fold. Extend the legs out long, active flex in the feet, sitting up nice and tall. On an inhale, reach your arms up overhead. And as you exhale, start to fold forward. The movement comes from the hip, and you want to keep that long spine. So if you're finding yourself rounding forward, you're going to have a lot of tension in your lower back. So to not have that, you'll want to back off, find the length through the spine, and then tip forward. And then you can bring your hands wherever is accessible. So whether it's your shins, your ankles, maybe you can reach your heels. Excuse me. Another way is to rock from side to side, walking your sitting bones back. Inhale, slowly release, reach your arms overhead. And exhale, release the arms to your side. We're gonna make our way all the way onto our back. So go ahead and you might need to shimmy your way forward, getting there however is comfortable. We're gonna make our way into bridge pose. So you'll keep your knees bent, soles of the feet are flat to the mat. You want the heels in line with the sitting bones. Hands are right next to your side with those fingertips reaching towards the top of your mat. Take an inhale to prepare. And as you exhale, one vertebrae at a time, start to press the hips up towards the sky. Ideally making one line from the knees to the hips to the shoulders. I want you to squeeze your glutes, press through all four corners of your feet, chin away from the chest. Squeeze your glutes, your core, everything strong. All while at the same time breathing. Take one more breath in. And as you exhale, slowly release the hips. One at a time, I want you to draw your knees up towards your chest. You can either have your hands to the tops of the knees, Or if you're able, take opposite hand to opposite elbow. I like to soften from right to left. You can hold in stillness, whatever your body needs. From here, I want you to keep your right knee bent up towards your chest. Lengthen that left leg long, set it completely on the ground. You're going to interlace your hands to the top of the right knee. And then we're going to start drawing that knee up towards the right shoulder. But rather than having the thigh on top of the rib, you're going to take the leg outside of the body, drawing that knee up towards the right shoulder, bypassing the rib cage. And then we'll switch. Take an inhale and exhale. Bend the left knee, lengthen out through the right leg, set it completely on the ground. And taking that left knee up to the left shoulder, again bypassing the rib cage. And our final pose today is going to be happy baby pose. We're going to take the knees and the feet wide. If it's available to you, take your hands to the outer blades of the feet. You can always take your hands to the inner blades, or even wrapping the hands behind the backs of the knees. Whatever feels comfortable, whatever feels safe for your body. Wherever you're at, you're looking to deepen the stretch into your hips. And do this by thinking about drawing your knees closer to the ground, allowing your low back to sink closer to the earth. You can either hold in stillness or gently rock from side to side. And when you feel complete, slowly releasing. Today, I'd like you to come into any comfortable position that you'd like. I'm going to end in corpse pose, extending my legs and my arms long, my palms facing up. Gently close your eyes. Shavasana is the time where we get to thank our bodies for their hard work. Allowing this time to rejuvenate your mind. Giving yourself permission to feel calm, to feel joyful. Fully relaxing and being still. Every breath, let your eyes sink deeper into your skull. Let your jaw relax. Let your tongue fall away from the roof of your mouth. Your shoulders relax away from your ears. Let your entire body sink in and become one with the earth. slowly start to wiggle your fingers and your toes. Finding some movement, maybe circling out through the ankles and the wrists. Very slowly, I want you to make your way onto your right side. Bringing your left cheek to your, right cheek to right bicep. Pausing here on your side. Allowing yourself to come back to your surroundings, come back to your body. With as little effort as possible, slowly pressing yourself up to a seated position, letting your head be the last to rise. And we'll take one final breath together before ending class today, going on our own ways. On an inhale, let your arms rise up. And as you exhale, release your hands to prayer at your heart center. Thank you so much for choosing to join me for class today. The light in me honors the light in you. From my heart to your heart. Namaste. If you enjoyed this class today, please help spread the love by sharing this to somebody who needs it. You can also like us and follow us on Instagram and Facebook. We are The Living Water Studio. Water is W-A-T-E-R, no S. Again, my name is Nikki. It's been such an honor teaching you today. We are currently closed, but if you're interested in looking into our classes, we're open Monday through Saturdays. We've got different various times throughout the day. Our schedule is posted on our website at www.thelivingwaterstudio.com. So thank you again. I hope you guys have a blessed day, and until the next time, namaste.